Hello! What the hell? We're not doing a movie review. Yeah, we're just going to let you know that there's going to be no review. We were going to try and see Tully tonight, which, of course, it's Sunday. The showings are kind of hit or miss. We wanted to actually go eat some food, and I was even looking at, we would have had to been busting our ass to try and get to the time when we were going to go see this, and that would have cut in dinner, and sorry, I do need to feed this mountain. So instead, we're going to do something that we've kind of been talking about for the past few months, in fact. And this is going to be Rantings and Ravings that we'll try and keep it if we can, at least every other week, if I can help it. We're going to see what we can do, though. Yeah. And that is, we're rewriting the DCEU, as it's called. Just long and short of it, the biggest problem is this DCEU just doesn't understand truly what it is that they want to do, and because of that, we have an inferior product. I know. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it doesn't help that you have a bunch of writers and producers who don't understand these characters. They
don't understand the characters. They don't understand the other writers or the other directors, and because of that, you have a film franchise that feels very, very disjointed at best. Like Man of Steel, Superman, Batman, those are the only two that really feel like they're in the same universe. Maybe Justice League a little bit, and a little bit of Wonder Woman. But like Suicide Squad sticks out like a sore thumb because the stylizing of David Ayer is a little, it's a little extreme. That's okay, we don't mind it. But again, the movie, it's not referenced, it brings up the Ayer movies, but nobody else brings up Suicide Squad. And that's a weird thing. It's like, well, why does that movie even exist? So, we're going to rewrite it for the most part. We're going to give Warner Brothers, hey, we know you kind of want to restart it. After Avengers made more money than Justice League in one weekend, that has got to be the most smack you with a dick thing ever I think Marvel's ever done. They were like, so you made like what, 280 million? Yeah. Oh, and what, your entire run? Yeah. Oh, we almost made that in one weekend. Here's my dick.
Yeah, it also really doesn't help that DC and Warner Brothers, they are like rushing so much to try and compete with Marvel. It's like it's coming off very like rushed and half-assed, and it's like y'all don't understand what made like Avengers so successful.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna rewrite it. We're gonna start it movie by movie. We're gonna have a few of these that they're gonna be a little bit shorter than this one. This one's probably gonna be a little bit longer, and so is our Superman Batman one. But others are gonna be a little shorter. And yes, we may introduce a new movie or anything like that. But hey, we will explain it in the videos. So we're going to start here with Man of Steel. Magic jump cut. Sorry, technical difficulties there. But hey, at least we're going to finally get to this. Man of Steel. First off, before we can even talk about what we're changing, we have to talk about the many problems with Man of Steel. Quick rundown, because it's legendary at this point almost.
Well, babe, we ain't got all night.
Yeah. Just to run it down, first off, it's poorly directed in the fact that everything is this blue, dingy looking film.
It's very dark and gloomy.
Yeah, and on top of it, its editing is all over the place. Like, we constantly have these flashbacks that interrupt the flow of a film. The writing is very, very bad.
They don't understand the character. One of my biggest complaints.
Well, pretty much the reason why is because David Goyer was the main writer behind this, and he rewrote Batman Begins, just insert Superman, which is the big issue with this film. It's pretty much a Batman movie that has Superman in it. Exactly. So,
remind me if I ever meet him, I need to kick him in the fucking nuts.
Yeah, I'll say this much. David Goyer can write a pretty good Batman movie. he sucks ass at Superman.
Yeah.
So, we've been talking about this, and with Man of Steel, the first thing you have to do is we have to figure out, it's like, who'd we even cast as?
I would say we have to recast the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of this movie we would recast. There's a few actors and actresses I think we agreed are fine. Diane Lane, she does do a good Martha Kent. Kevin Costner, the writing's terrible, but I think what he was given, he did as good as he could, so he does a good Jonathan Kent. So, hey, that's cool. Henry Cavill, though, as our main Superman,
He's too broody.
yeah, he does broody really well.
Yeah, a little bit I've seen of Immortals. He's like supposed to be this, Greek hero, and he's like, oh, that's not right. Dark and it's like,
That's because that's how Immortals is.
well, I just mean like he's noble, but he's broody about it.
Yeah.
How the hell do you accomplish that?
So we'll just be honest. We've recast Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And we're a little torn. We're not quite sure who we kind of agree on. Because obviously he needs to be a imposing looking guy. But he also needs to be able to act, which is something that Henry Cavill sometimes can and a lot of times can't do, which is sad. So, who have we decided really to be our Superman?
We come up with a few names.
Ironically
Ben
enough, one of them
Affleck.
is Ben Affleck that we've
Well,
kind of
like,
thrown around. We're like, Ben Affleck actually probably could be a good Superman. One, he is a taller gentleman. Two, he can obviously be muscular, like he is in Superman vs. Batman. And on top of that, he can be heroic. Watch The Accountant. Hell, whenever he's given good stuff to do, which is rare, in the Justice League and Superman Batman movie, he is heroic. He can be heroic. That's the reason why his Batman, he doesn't do a bad job acting. That's the thing. He's a good actor.
Just the material.
Yeah,
He's given. It's like,
yeah, his material never feels very Batman-ish. It feels sort of Superman-ish, and he could fit. Another one, and people are going to crucify us that we kind of threw this around, possibly John Cena, though I will fully admit his acting can be a bit wooden. His delivery is not always the greatest, but he's a decent possibility. He is strong, and obviously he's already Superman, and in fact he's Super Cena.
yeah, we were possibly also throwing out The Rock, but like he's a little bit too old. Although he really could do that, like very innocent, naive, heroic, puppy dog that Superman can sometimes encompass.
Yeah.
I will even admit it.
Like, watch, what's the name of that movie with him and Kevin Hart, which is sad. Not Jumanji. Central Intelligence.
Yeah, I was saying, not The Accountant.
Yeah, that's a Ben Affleck thing.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, watch Central Intelligence. The Rock is such a great, big, happy puppy dog.
Yes!
I mean, he seems like he could be a good Superman. The biggest problem is he's almost a little too big. And not only that, but no offense to The Rock, he's a little bit older. Like, he is near his 50s last I checked.
And the hair. Got no hair.
Yeah, he's...
Bit of a problem.
Yeah, it's a bit of an issue, unless you can try and, because I do like my Superman with hair, no offense.
Me too. Probably with dark hair, like after he was resurrected.
That was dark, longer hair after he got resurrected.
Uh-huh.
Still like Lois. Ooh, I like the hair. One of the best scenes
I was
in...
like, ooh, hi.
Yeah, one of the best, like,
Yes,
after
Ayla.
scenes in Reign of the Superman was actually really good. So, yeah, probably the first one that we mentioned would probably be that'd be our go-to Superman. And though we also threw out a few others, I can't remember, we were like, they kind of don't fit 100%. I'm trying to remember who we threw out.
I know one guy you threw out was Boris Kojo?
Yeah, Boris Kojo, or Kojo, however you pronounce his name. Gentleman from, he's right now in Code Black. He was Luther in the Resident Evil movies. I love this man to death. He can actually act really good which is strange. He's Austrian and he's not Hitler, so that's also a plus. He's big and black. I'm pretty sure he's got a massive dong because he's just this massive dude on top of it all. And he's built like a brick shithouse in an awesome way of speaking of him. He could also be actually really good Superman, I believe. He looks imposing, but he also has this just genuine charm about him, which made him the best part of the Resident Evil movies for the 2 movies he was in. Like, him alone, I was like, oh, I'm interested in you. You're cool. And only that, he's a handsome gentleman. I mean, you want to see him. And yes, if y'all are wondering, we don't care about their color. Black, white, don't give a shit. If y'all know a decent, Asian guy that would do a good Superman. No offense, he's got to be a little tall, so.
Yeah, it's like, we're looking for certain criteria. Tall, muscular, not bald.
This Boris Kojai is bald, but I think he could make it work.
That's another criteria. Able to act very noble.
Yeah. So, probably Ben Affleck would be our major one that we would want to go
that'd be my number 1 choice.
Yeah.
And even though he is a little bit older, I think he could totally pull it off.
Yeah. I mean, obviously. He could pull off old, he could pull off young. Like, in Argo, I always thought he's this, like, mid-30s guy, maybe. Or maybe he's in early or late 20s or something like that. And it's like, okay, you're nowhere near your age, but you feel it. Which is strange, but hey, it works. So, we have that figured out, and then we had to figure out our leading lady.
Lois.
Yeah, Lois, because let's just admit it, Amy Adams is terrible as a Lois. She has been just writing this total fact that she doesn't have emotions for the past 12 movies. I don't know what happened to Amy Adams. Did she look in the Ark of the Covenant? Did she see the Weinstein guy raping somebody? I don't know what she saw, but she's suddenly, like, every ounce of emotion is drained from her. Arrival, all the DCEU movies, well, maybe Justice League, first one, she kind of seemed like she gave 2 flying shits. But even then,
Yeah, I feel like ever since Enchant, she's had, like, very doe-eyed.
Enchanted, at least she seemed to have emotion, though. Everything else, she seems like she took 12 Valiums and barely knows how to move her lips. It's weird. I don't get what Amy Adams is doing anymore. So, killed.
Yeah, ixnay that one.
Yeah. There's one I actually just came up with that I was thinking of. Rosario Dawson. Even though she's a little bit of an older, but of course we're going with a little bit of an older Ben Affleck. Nothing against Rosario Dawson. She is still hot as shit. Like, watch her in any of the Marvel Netflix shows. Holy balls. I would pound that while she beats me with a frying pan. Sorry. I gotta be a little crude. No, but she's a beautiful young lady. And she has also this don't fuck with me demeanor that is just incredibly good to watch. And I think she could be a hell of a reporter.
Yeah, she does seem like, in certain things, she seems like she could be, very sweet and very easygoing. But then, like, fuck with her and it's like, badassery.
Yeah, and she's suddenly you wake up with a knife to your throat. And she's like, fuck me again, I slit not this head.
Yeah, one name we originally did throw out, he threw out, Halle Berry.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, it's like, if she was a little bit younger, it's like, yeah, totally. She could totally pull it off, I think.
Mm-hmm. The only issue, again, we hate to kind of harp on it, Halle Berry is a little bit of an older lady, though she doesn't look any of her age. Like, how she's doing it, I don't know. Her and Jane Fonda are sacrificing virgins or something, or eating baby hearts.
You and your obsession with Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda is 80, I want to say, or she's near 80. She doesn't look it. She looks like she's maybe 50. I don't know what the fuck she's doing. It's like, what are you doing, Jane? How? Like, it's one thing to look like 5, 10 years younger. 30 years younger? You look a whole generation younger than you are. But yeah, Halle Berry, she still doesn't look her age. I just would worry about the reason why we would be hesitant if we were casting this, of course. Halle Berry being in it is just, would she be able to keep doing more and more movies? Because eventually, when you get to be older, especially since Halle Berry has children at home, would she really want to keep doing this stupid globe-trotting superhero movie? Which I wouldn't blame her at all.
Yeah.
But if she'd be willing to be, all right, Halle, come on. Her or I think Rosario Dawson be two of the best possible candidates.
Yeah, there's also, you threw out Jamie Alexander, I think is her name, or Jaime Alexander.
Yeah, from Lady Sif from Thor, or the main character from Blind Spot. Sorry, I have not watched but like 4 episodes of Blind Spot. I just don't know what the hell's going on in that show. Yeah, she can pull off stoic, obviously. She can pull off badass. The only thing we're a little concerned about is her ability to pull off reporter, which sounds weird. But she also needs to be able to be a damsel. No offense. Yeah. I mean, Lois is the quintessential.
There
we go. There's words. Daddy speaks good. I can spell it. I can't say it to save my life, which is weird. Yeah, I learned. I can spell a lot of shit. Thanks to my work, I've had to learn how to spell shit. Always people don't know what the hell I'm saying to them.
That is the man who relies way too much on spell check.
I can spell succinctly now. All 3 C's there in it.
Yippee skippy, you want a cookie?
Sure. Yeah, we're wondering about her ability to be able to portray that, vulnerability. That's the biggest thing, and nothing against, or saying that, Halle Berry looks vulnerable, or Rosario Dawson. I think they can look badass, but at the same time, obviously they're not going to be able to defeat a Brainiac, a Parasite, a Lex Luthor, with a freaking power armor suit or something like that, so they need a Superman to be able to save them. Yes, we do know it's a bit of a cliche in the best way. But
and to me, Lois Lane, she's more of the, well, shit, that didn't work out, kind of damsel in distress. Like, she gets herself into these situations, pursuing the story, and it's like, well, maybe I should have thought through a little bit more.
Yeah.
And, needs Superman to come and save her. That's not like, I'm so helpless, kind of.
Not like, I got my shoes stuck in the grate. It's like, oh god, I accidentally activated all the nuclear warheads in the world. Whoops.
Like, oopsie.
Yeah. So, then we have our Lois, for the most part. Probably one of those 3, probably leaning upon Halle Berry or Rosario Dawson the most.
Yeah, like another one you threw out, like, yeah, if she was a lot younger, I would agree, Lucy Lawless.
Yeah, Lucy Lawless could be a good one. No offense, Lucy Lawless is nearly 60, so she wouldn't be able to pull it off. She could pull off Lois Lane's mom. No offense. She pull off her badass mother, but sorry. Another thing that we wanted to go ahead and recast. I love Michael Shannon. I think he does really good work. Hell, even in Man of Steel, I like that he's just playing himself, and he's like, I'm just going to fucking ham this up. I don't give a shit, because Zack Snyder won't give me good direction. So I'm just going to be psycho. We don't want to see Zod.
Mm-hmm.
We're tired of Zod. We're tired of Luthor. It's so been done.
Yeah, the same 2 villains in every single Superman movie. Except for, like, the
The Quest for Peace and the 3rd Superman movie, which still, they both had Luthor.
Yeah, I was like...
Yeah, Nuclear Man, of course.
They also introduced, like, his sister or something in the 3rd one. Oh. Lex Luthor's sister.
I cannot remember. It's been so long since I've seen the 3rd Superman movie. It's not a good one. That's the biggest problem.
I've only really seen the ending, and even then it's, like, been ages.
Yeah, and even then it's sort of not Brainiac. We just want to get away from Zod or Lex. It's like, alright, so we either have a guy who's pretty much a evil Superman, or we have the human who doesn't like Superman. Why not something a lot smarter than Superman? Why not something that is fairly different in their power levels to Superman?
They have someone, like, completely, not Zod or Lex, like, anybody. Come on.
Yeah, like, I would be happy with, give him somebody who could beat in 5 seconds almost. I just want somebody other than Zod or Lex. So we talked about it.
We're thinking thinking Brainiac.
Yeah, he's already, you got the sci-fi shows already talking about it, but at the time, let's say, what was it, 2012, whenever the Man of Steel came out? Or something like that. Whenever Man of Steel originally came out, it's like, nobody was doing Brainiac. But Brainiac is one of the most well-known Superman villains next to Luthor. Do him. I mean, why not? And, well, of course, you're going to have... Brainiac's going to be mostly CGI. You're going to have some... We would like to try and go as much makeup and prosthetics as possible, but of course, there's only so much that, money can do.
Yeah.
But we have to have a voice to it, to him at least.
Yeah, at the very least.
So we started throwing out names, and unfortunately, it's the one we're the most uncertain of. Because I threw out the one, and unfortunately, we cannot get it out of our heads.
Yeah, it's like, ever since you said, it's like, okay, yeah, I nominate him.
James Spader.
Yeah. It's like, after hearing him as Ultron, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, you cannot get much better than a person who somehow makes There's No Strings on Me from Pinocchio creepy.
Yeah.
Like, just skin crawling creepy.
You're like...
Yeah, it's like...
You guys start chopping up some people, James Spader?
Strings on me.
You're gonna start talking to your dead mother?
Might. The other one that we've thrown out, I think he could do very good, because he always does really good villain roles. Well, except for Harry Potter, but fuck Harry Potter. Jason Isaacs. Jason Isaacs, one, I would love to see Jason Isaacs in more stuff. He's fantastic in everything he's done. If you still haven't seen Awake, go find it, watch it. It's fantastic. It's a great show.
I still hate that it was canceled.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people got it. It's like, what's going on? It's like, he's flipping back and forth between these two worlds. In one world, his son survived this car accident his family was in, and...
No, when his wife survived.
Yeah, his wife survived, but the kid died.
Yeah, and who knows which one's the real one. That's the interesting thing. And somehow he's able to interact with them both.
Yeah, he goes sleeping, wakes up in one world, goes sleeping, wakes up in the other world. And it's really fascinating.
Yeah, and it got weird, but it got weird in a really interesting way. Like, it got a little out there, but it was not that out there where you go...
Like, I want to know more.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to know more? I think, yeah, Jason Isaacs would be really good in this role.
Yeah, he's really good at villains.
He's really good at almost everything. I haven't seen him in anything I don't like him in. That's the other thing. Jason Isaacs can make a villain that you love to hate. And if you could get him on board, then since it's Brainiac, he can come back constantly, over and over, in different movies for different reasons. You can come in and do like 5 seconds of voiceover. Hey, look, there he is. And, hey, he would be cool. Was there anybody else we threw out there as a possible?
There's another one you threw out there. I'm like, maybe kind of on the fence about Clive Owen.
Yeah. I don't know.
He might have the voice for it. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not 100% certain he'd be able to do like this cold calculating machine. But I'm willing. I'd be willing to give him a try.
Yeah.
I'm more just stuck on James Spader.
Yeah, James Spader, Jason Isaacs. Sorry, the J's got it. Yeah, either one of those two I think would be really fascinating. As I almost want to give it more to Jason Isaacs, just so that way we can see the duality between Ultron and Brainiac by having 2 different actors obviously playing. That would be my one worry about having James Spader, as just because it would be almost too similar of a role.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. We got our villain. Now we just have to figure out what's our story. What's going on? What's that?
There's another character we were wanting to include in this.
Oh yeah.
Martian Manhunter.
We wanted to include John Jones because let's just be fair here. If this is supposed to be a start of a universe, it's supposed to be start of something. Why are we starting with just really one thing? Which, I like Superman and all, but we need to have some inclusions of something else.
Start building a bigger world.
Yeah, like, You don't have to do is like take. Sorry, I'm trying to brain and nothing's working. I'm trying to brain, which means it's melting back here. I'm trying to think of my brain's not doing it. But for you to actually make this actual real cinematic universe, because obviously that's the idea. I mean, DC, it straight up that was the idea behind Man of Steel. It always was called out as. Yeah. You need to have connections. Man of Steel had none of that. There was no after. I mean, you don't have to have an after credit sequence, but there's nothing. This didn't.
Like little hints, little references, something.
Yeah, I want to say maybe there was a Cadmus reference or something else, and none of it felt real or poignant is the best way to put it. There was a lot of focus on Superman, and yes, your movie should focus on that. But if you had, for instance, whenever Superman is going to be a reporter, because that's what we would have throughout this movie, instead of Bum Man, which is pretty much what Superman was, and just, I'm going to go wander around and be, Bruce Banner from the Incredible Hulk series, we were going to have him be a reporter. Although we need to kind of talk more about the plot, but one of his friends that he would speak to would be a detective, John Jones.
Played by none other than Idris fucking Elba.
Yeah, you can't get there in Idris Elba. Idris Elba wants to be a comic book guy. He wants to do him. Let's give him Martian Manhunter. He deserves it. He could do a fantastic Martian Manhunter. And he's just, he's just dreamy. Yeah, Idris Elba, I think, would be a fantastic Martian Manhunter, fantastic John Jones, because that's the thing they have to be able to do both. Brain is melting.
Charlie, no brain good.
Yeah, I know brain good. They need to be able to do both. I mean, that's just requirement.
Yeah, even if Martian Manhunter is CGI or prosthetics, or maybe a little bit combination of both.
I would go like the Vision route, maybe it's just, prosthetics more than anything. And the big thing, though, again, that we're going to stress, John Jones may be here. He's going to be a character, he's going to be mentioned. He's going to have a little bit of screen time and talk with Supes, as Clark Kent, of course. Yeah. But this is a Superman movie still. And that's what we're going to still focus on, but we still need to build a world. We still need to give something. So, we'll get into the actual plot of the film. There will be some characters we're going to talk about here and there and say, oh yeah, well this person is now this person. We'll say also another person I want to make sure to keep Lawrence Fishburne. And I'm going to give him a lot more to do. Or yes. I am. We. We're going to give Lawrence Fishburne more to do by making it more about the Daily Planet. That's a big fault of Man of Steel. We're having way too much of dealing with Superman's backstory in these convoluted flashbacks.
That, serve no purpose other than to piss me off.
Yeah, it's they're trying to tell a tale of Superman's backstory, but it's done in such an asinine way, and it just feels like it wastes time. It's ultimately what it feels like. It feels like, oh, well, sorry, the plot can't progress because we have a flashback we got to deal with. Does the flashback really have anything to do with anything? Not really. Mm-hmm. But, hey, you're going to have to put up with it anyway. So we've actually figured out a really smart way to do it. First off, we need to touch on the one thing. How would the movie start? We're going to have to blow up Krypton again.
Yeah.
So...
Except with Brainiac.
Yeah.
Involved in it.
Yeah, instead of just unknown thing happens and they have spaceships and somehow they can't get off the planet, but obviously Brainiac has done something to call all the Kryptonians, when we know to all be here, and destroys the planet. And through means that will be figured out later on in the movie. Meant to be more of a mystery, meant to make you already hate a character that you're supposed to hate anyway. Mm-hmm. But also, you still have Superman getting jettisoned off into space. I don't care about Russell Crowe being his dad. We will not have his dad or his mother play that big of a part, because let's just admit it. Having Russell Crowe throughout a chunk of this movie, in fact, taking up more time than Kevin Costner did, really, really broke that whole character. It's Well, why you even lose your dad? Why couldn't you make his mom? Why couldn't you done this? Oh, I see. You hate me.
Yeah, I actually didn't mind Russell Crowe as Jarrell. Though I'm kind of with you, it's like a little too much screen time.
Yeah, like you could have. If you just really want Russell Crowe as it, sure, but he's only going to be in there for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like whenever Jarrell, maybe he discovers Brainiac's plan. Maybe he discovers that Brainiac is trying to destroy the Earth. Or the Earth.
Krypton.
The Krypton. Well, I guess to them it would be their Earth. And maybe there'll be like hints, of course, of Zod or a few others. Stuff like that, because you do also want to leave possible, strings out there for theorists and also for people like, ooh, is this character going to eventually come up? Maybe, we'll see. But, again, we just want to focus on trying to cut out all the boring shit that you don't care about. Like, do you care about Zod taking over the Kryptonian Council? No. That doesn't play a part in any of it. Do you care about Russell Crowe trying to run away from Zod? No. And that was even badly done CGI. That was boring on top of it all.
Or Zod being sentenced to the Phantom Zone, which we've already seen.
Many, many times on dick ships. They're giant dongs. There's no way y'all can try and say that he got shot up into not dongs. So, yeah, we don't care about that part. We're just gonna go ahead and, planet's dying. Brainiac seems to be behind it, and boom. Superman shot off into space. And he, of course, lands on Earth. Mm-hmm. And this is where we're going to borrow a little bit more from the Christopher Reeve films. Instead of us flash forwarding to Superman as an adult and then constantly flashing back and forth between his childhood and all that, we're going to show him growing up.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and be more sequential. I know people are like, it's been done. And there's a reason why it's a better storytelling method.
Yeah.
Like I've already touched upon, it breaks up the story constantly going into flashbacks. It's a very amateurish move because, like I said, it stops your plot. It makes you not able to move forward. By having it at the beginning and having it after Krypton, obviously just showing Superman growing up, you have a sequential story.
And you can actually feel the presence that the Kents have upon Clark.
Yeah, instead it feels like, again, we just have Hobo Man happens to be walking around and he has abs.
Hairy abs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that's just weird. A hairy Superman's like, just shave that shit.
He can't.
I mean,
every razor breaks.
I mean, like one of those clown things.
Yep.
Not pop back up. But yeah, I mean, Henry Cavill, like, he shaved for Immortals. Like, why not shave for this? Like,
It's just CGI that shit probably.
it's like it's like it made more sense for him to be hairy in Immortals when he playing a Greek dude, Greek hero, and it's like a Superman's like, shave that bitch. It's like, just, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know why that bugs me. It just does. I know I'm not the only one.
Megan worries about hairiness. Yeah, we were, like I said, we're going to actually show Superman growing up. We're going to see Clark becoming himself. Mm-hmm. And we're going to touch upon the very, very infamous scene. That whole scene could have been handled so much better just through pure writing. That's all its problems boil down to. Like, was it supposed to let him die? Maybe. Like some people, well, he's not telling him he should have killed him. No, but Jonathan Kent is saying that Superman should have been callous. That's the thing that Jonathan Kent never would say. That's not his character. That's not how anybody would have said, oh, maybe you should have let him die. Because fuck people. Mm-hmm. I probably would, because I'm an asshole. Jonathan Kent's not an asshole, though.
I would say the Kents are, they give Superman his moral compass.
Yeah, they're the reason why the whole premise of Man of Steel, like him trying to figure out whether he should be good or not, it is such utter bullshit.
Yeah, the whole justification for him killing Zod, well, he has to know how bad it feels to kill in order to know that it's wrong. It's like, huh?
But, and then I would like to go, sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
I was going to go, hey, so Zach, so he thought to save these people because he didn't know if it was good to let them die, or what? I mean, we just need to use some common, connections here. Let's think like these human things that we happen to be, and say it's like, well, if Superman knows that saving these people because he shouldn't just let people die is a good thing, then why would he think murder is okay? Eh? I mean, let's put one and one together and we'll get two, not the 36 that you happen to got, Zach. I don't know where you got it from.
I mean, like, we don't have anywhere near, like, we're not nearly as powerful as Superman, and...
Like, know that killing for killing's sake is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just plain, simple humanism. I mean, that's the biggest problem that I think Zack Snyder never got throughout the entire film. I mean, those who know any little bit about symbolism or anything about film theory know that this film is just fucking littered with Zack Snyder talking about Superman being Jesus. Mm-hmm. Yes, I get it. Superman's strong. He's hard to always pin down because he's very noble.
People he's practically a god with all his abilities.
Yeah. But his nobility doesn't come from his abilities. His nobility comes from his upbringing.
Yes.
That's where his goodness comes from. That's the reason why people think of him as boring. I think of him as a little bit of a dull character. I do get the appeal, though, because he is such a noble soul. He's not willing to go through torture. He's not going to just willingly kill people just for the hell of it.
Yeah, I love that, like, growing up among humans, he has seen the best and the worst that humanity has had to offer. And, even with some of the worst that we've had to offer, he still has hope for humanity. And continues to try and be a symbol of hope for us to, like, okay, we can be better. We can...
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why this whole allegory that Zack Snyder wants it to be is I hate to keep using words, asinine. It shows that he doesn't understand Superman. That's the thing about Superman. The interesting thing about this character is not the fact of him dealing with his godhood, which is pretty much what it is. Especially whenever they made him Jesus by bringing him back through Deus Ex Machina. But what makes him an interesting character is that he always is going to choose the best route possible. Only that, but he's actually super smart, that people really, really don't understand. But don't even let me begin to get into how Zack Snyder doesn't understand comic books, it seems.
Yeah, there's some interpretations where he's like this human calculator almost. Like he's not just a human calculator, but he's also like how would I put this? Basically, his neurons are firing quicker than us normal mortals.
If you think about it, it does make sense though, because the same thing is given to the Flash. It's because for you to be able to have that kind of a speed, you have to think quicker than you're moving, obviously. Mm-hmm. So you would have to be able to think faster. So never mind the science doesn't exactly work, but it does still make sense.
It's comic book science.
Yeah. Comic book science, do not try and break it down, because it'll make your brain melt worse than mine is.
I got two words for you. Speed Force.
Yeah.
Right there, comic book science.
It's complete utter horseshit, is a nice way to describe it.
I mean, like, it's partly science, it's partly, like, mystical. Like, mystical force that they can tap into, but it's also kind of, like, science-y, kind of... don't even get started.
Yeah, but I'm willing to suspend my disbelief in
Yeah.
this instance to let Superman be beyond just a big brooding ape. And no offense, that's what Zack Snyder made him.
Yeah.
Our Superman that we want and we demand is more than just that. Yes, I hate to give praise to a movie I still think is a very dull flick. At least Superman Returns, whenever Superman is technically brooding, he's more just reflecting on life in general, and it's not like, oh well, I my powers, I am God or anything like that. It's just he's like, well, I wish I can get Lois back, but I can't.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to. So you know what? I'm going to devote myself to my work. I'm going to save as many people as possible, and you get some actually really cool scenes for 5 minutes, and then you get a lot of talking. Superman Returns is such a boring film. Sorry.
But anyway, yeah, I did like in Man of Steel, like a little bit of the concept of him trying to find his place in the world. I didn't mind that so much. You know, like, but only as so much as I'm trying to put this. Basically, just trying to deal with the fact that he is the only one of his kind.
Yeah, and they never really touched upon that throughout the entire movie. And that's something we would want to focus on, maybe. Because, like I said, we were going to have it like, alright, you have Krypton, then you have him growing up. We would obviously touch upon that scene of him actually, you know, talking with Jonathan about becoming Superman. In fact, we already figured out a way to fix the cape just happens to be this one thing that happened to be here. That's a plot hole. I don't get it. Zack likes digging up plot holes for himself. It's like, dude, okay, cool. Zack just jumped in. I don't care anymore.
You can dig him up, fill him back in.
Mm-hmm. But we would have it to where Superman, alright, came in on the ship. Jonathan Kent and Martha, they kept this ship of his because, you know, I don't want to just throw it away because somebody's going to find it and they might be able to trace it back to them and might trace it back to Clark. And they're rooting around in it once, you know, Clark gets to be old enough. Like, let's say, early teenager or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to figure out, and they're trying to figure out a way to keep Clark safe, but not where he's going to, like, he's like, oh, well, I should, you know, hide my powers, and have Jonathan simply say, no, you should never do that. You shouldn't hide who you are. You are, or my son, you are who you are. I don't care if you can leap tall buildings in a single bound. I don't care if you can and fly. All I care about is that you're safe. Like, that alone would have just made a much better Jonathan Kent, I think. So, you have the scene where they're maybe rooting around, and that's where they can find the frickin' suit. Maybe it's a type of clothing they wear on Krypton. And when he wears it there, maybe it just happens to bind to his skin in certain ways that it'll grow with him.
With the underwear on the outside, people. It just looks weird otherwise.
Yeah, I don't mind the underwear because I think it breaks up the color scheme better. Because otherwise, it looks like Long Johns.
Yeah, like, it just looks so weird. It's like...
It looks like he's wearing a cod piece. It's off-putting every time I see him. Like, but yeah, we would have, you know, showing him growing up as a kid or teenager. Show him maybe eventually, you know, going to not high school, but college and gain a journalism degree.
Yeah.
Maybe him, you know, flirting around with a few women, you know, maybe like Lana, you could have a hinting there.
Or maybe introduce, like, even for just a little bit, a very, like, lesser-known girlfriend of his from the comics, Lori Lamaris, the mermaid. That would be awesome. I would love that. At least a little hint.
Yeah, you could do anything like that. And that's the big thing. Again, I hate to keep just pounding just ever-living dicks out. It's dead horse called Let's Beat the Shell, Man of Steel. But there's not a lot of... It doesn't feel very referential in a good way. Like, any of the references always feel asinine. Sure, technically, no offense, your reference would be a little bit one of those, huh? But then those who do get big, I got that one.
Yeah, it's like, you don't necessarily have to be a comic book nerd to, enjoy that part of the movie.
It's just got to be a little
But it's
fun.
like a nice little, nod to the nerds.
And just, it's something, that one thing we'd be focusing on, making it fun. Making it funny.
Yes, he's a ray of sunshine, people.
Yeah.
First of all, yellow is one of his colors. I mean, not one of his main colors, but still part of his outfit. And second of all, he gets his powers from the sun. You can't be all, doom and gloom when your powers are derived from the sun.
Yeah, you usually can't.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like, the perky little ray of sunshine, but like, just like happy-go-lucky kind of, like, hey, it's gone.
Yeah, and we would show him eventually transitioning up to finally getting to be into Daily Planet. It's illustrious, newspaper career. And he's really been looking forward to, if you want to make a little joke right there, he'd be like, oh, you're going to hire me? Yeah. And then he goes, so what am I going to do? And then you could have like a smash cut, him in the mailroom with Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, Jimmy, not Jenny.
Yeah. Well, they did have Jimmy in the second movie. Just killed him.
Yeah.
Because you know what Zack Snyder was doing there? Going at everybody.
Yeah, because he wasn't actually a reporter. He was just...
But his name was Jimmy Olsen.
His name was going by. It's like...
And the bad thing is, Zach, on the commentary, is like, well, we wanted to include him here for the comic book fans. It's like, oh, they were so mad that Jimmy wasn't in it. So you kill... Zach, do you know how a human works?
Herman's like, here you go. Fuck you. Fuck off.
Here, I killed him. Yeah, that's what you wanted, right? Yeah, and sure, we're making this movie a lot goofier. That's Superman. We're not
He's not the big blue Boy Scout for nothing.
Yeah, but what I would say is to help make him show off his reporter skills, maybe he decides to tag along with Lois on something. Now, it'd be fine with them making a lady who's a little bit older than Lois, so Halle Berry could work.
Yeah, someone's been more experienced, like, it's like, okay, Green Orange, stay out of my way.
Yeah, and they start to talk about different, or, maybe they're investigating people disappearing. And it turns out some of these people are disappearing, and they run across maybe some robots that happen to be working, that are symbolized like the Brainiac. The three little things that he has. And he decides to be Superman, beats him up, but he begins to try and look into this more. Like, Lois is just like, okay, I don't know what's going on, or maybe she gets knocked out during all this. Seems so simple, but whatever. And you have Superman talk with maybe his detective friend, John Jones, to learn more about this. And they kind of work together. Maybe John's able to figure out this is an alien. This is something different.
Yeah. Maybe that's how he can be introduced to the world. Or even just America.
Yeah, and...
like, as Superman.
Like him actually defeating these robots and keeping as much damage from happening around as humanly possible. Because that's the thing. We don't mind seeing stuff blow up. We don't want to see Superman. Oh, I could, punch this guy into the ground or punch him into the air and then punch him back down, just keep him away from people. Or I can go push him through a 7-Eleven that's full of people and kill everybody inside.
And they cause as much damage as possible.
Yeah, I mean, let's just admit it. Superman murdered the entirety of Smallville in the movie. And people want to say, no. Y'all don't get it. Superman murdered thousands of people in Man of Steel.
At the very least, all that property damage, he values life. That's the character. And at the very least, he knows, okay, people can't afford to keep, rebuilding the shit. So, let's just kind of take this where there's, not as many buildings, not any people, and then have that, Yeah. Come at me, bro.
Hey, come at me, bro. Yeah, you could have Superman begin to unravel this mystery of a Brainiac invasion, or maybe more of a subterfuge. You could be hit, and then you can... you're having Superman dealing with a obvious Superman villain, Superman level villain, who is also, you're not punching him through walls that are just, hey, look, I just destroyed half of Metropolis. Do. I'm your hero. I'm God.
Yeah, like, you have to use partially brawn and partially, partially just having to outwit him.
Yeah, and that's Superman. That's exactly what he does. He outwits his opponent and outfights him. That's the reason why he seems so impossible to get to, because he's so impossible to hurt.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I would rather a smart Superman than Caveman who just punches Zod through all of Metropolis and doesn't seem to care.
Yeah, doesn't care about the destruction, the casualties.
Yeah, like, you never saw Superman, like, try to stop a building from falling on people. You never saw him...
Trying to evacuate people, like in the Avengers.
Yeah, or anything. All you had was Superman punching. It's like, I don't mind Superman punching. It needs to be not so obvious that he's killing people while he's doing it.
Yeah, apparently some people think, okay, he's super strong, so, he's like, just, like, fighting machine.
I can tell you somebody, or two people that exactly think that. David S. Goyer and Zack Snyder.
Yep.
And that's the thing. We're not going to have Superman who just wants to be a big, dumb idiot that's going to just punch and destroy everything.
Yeah.
He's going to use his brain. He's going to have his friend help him, his friend John Jones, help him figure out where these things are coming from and stop them at their source. Not just for the simple fact that, oh, I need to stop bad guy, but because he wants to save lives. He wants to save everything around it. And this is where you could have Brainiac actually show up. He could meet Superman face to face, have him monologue, have him go on and on about, it's like, this is what our race is truly like. Maybe he's referring to himself as a Kryptonian. And you could speak about the bottled city of Kandor. You can maybe hint that maybe Brainiac happens to have it, but he's being coy with Superman about it. And eventually it becomes a fight that Superman is wanting to... He's wanting to beat this guy, but he wants to learn what happened. Because, again, Brainiac's being coy. He's being smart with him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, let's say maybe Superman just... Maybe he grabs Brainiac and he's trying to, crush, like, his head because he's like, I'm glad I know at least you're just an android or something like that. And, hinting more about Superman's humanity and unwillingness to murder people just for the lulz.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Brainiac actually was able to fight him off or use his robots. Anything. And I don't mind a villain that, has to use underlings in a way to beat away the guy. You beat off Superman. I'm gonna keep him away. That's the porn version.
Okay.
Yeah, its focus would be on telling a tale that is connecting Superman back with his roots, figuring out his place in this world, and also still beginning to expand things. Maybe Brainiac can talk about the reason why it's taken him 30 years to get from Krypton to Earth, while Superman took, a couple days.
In a lot of interpretations, it's 3 years.
Yeah. You could have hintings at different things. Like, maybe there's some technology that Brainiac happens to be using that's a little dark, in a way. You could have him, maybe he summons up as something that Superman's not prepared to fight against, parademons. Sure, Brainiac and Darkseid very rarely work together, but the possibility of Brainiac possibly taking control of some parademons or redoing their DNA and creating some of his own for his own purposes, not too far-fetched of an idea. And again, you're expanding your own universe.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that all could work.
Yeah.
Though I would also possibly include either in this one or the next one, you know, an end scene or maybe an end credit scene with John Jones, like, kind of by himself, like his eyes light up, kind of hinting.
Yeah, I would think...
Yeah, like, you wanted to be all about Superman, but kind of, like, give a little hint.
Yeah, that is always the best thing. Like, everybody can tell you, like, one of their favorite parts of Iron Man, even though Iron Man's still a fantastic movie just on its own, that end credit sequence with Nick Fury popping up, I think everybody's like, oh! And all Marvel fanboy, just jizzed all over the roof. But I think a good possible thing for doing that is maybe John goes to, let's say, a bar. He's sitting there, and there's a guy obviously across from him, and John's just sitting there talking. He's like, you know what, I think, this guy, he might be something, And let's say his buddy's sitting there, and he'll look at him, and it's, let's say it's the one gentleman that we decided not to have as Superman, it's Boris Kojai, and he's just, his eyes are bright green. And he goes, so, what do you think? He's like, is this guy, should we do anything about it, or do you think we should maybe talk with him more? See what he wants. Or maybe they can talk about Darkseid or anything like that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of a little all over the place. Brain's a little still melting.
Yeah, and I will say I did have an idea for the next one.
Can't go into it, because it will be for the next one.
Well, I'll just say it involves Doomsday.
Well, Doomsday gets to be hinted at maybe in the next one. Or we could have him at the end. But
I would say if we're going to do that storyline, we're going to do it right.
Yeah. But what I would have at the end of this movie, after you've had Superman, he wins the day, and people are cheering. Maybe he's afraid they're going to be mad because he's damaged stuff or something, but they're cheering.
Another idea, which I will... another idea for the next one, I will tell you.
We'll save for the next time.
Yeah, I'll tell you afterwards.
But yeah, after Superman, he finally, wins the day. He saves Metropolis. He saves America, saves the world. John Jones, like I said, in credit sequence, he's talking with his friend, that you don't see for a little bit except for whenever it cuts to him, he has green eyes, and maybe he brings his hand up to, and he's drinking a thing, and you see a nice, pretty green ring on him. And he goes, so there's a Kryptonian out there. Think we might be able to recruit him? And maybe that's whenever John Jones looks up and his eyes just glow red, and he says, I could talk with him.
That'd be a nice little moment.
First off, Boris Kojai would be a fantastic John Stewart. John Stewart would be so much better than frickin' Hal Jordan. I like Ryan Reynolds. He couldn't do a good Hal Jordan because Hal Jordan is a frickin' piece of wet bread. He's bland. He's worthless. He's an ass. That's the best thing about Hal Jordan is he's an asshole.
Pretty much a case of it was the material he was given, not the actor itself.
Yeah, well, just strip. Hal Jordan is not a good guy. Hal Jordan, because his city got nuked, instead of, trying to deal with that trauma, went insane and destroyed the entire Green Lantern Corps. Yeah. And then they had to retcon it that he got attacked by a yellow fear demon called Parallax. That's where Parallax came from. He wasn't a giant ship monster. But I think if you were to eventually hint at a Green Lantern, especially the John Stewart, the one that everybody's been asking for, and you have this hint that there's bigger things, especially a Martian Manhunter. Or if you maybe have him start kind of changing over Idris Elba as, he's starting to develop, the Martian Manhunter look.
Yeah.
So, hey, I can ask him. There's also a very well-known bar, obviously, in DC Universe, where superheroes are welcomed, and they're allowed to drink and be themselves if they want to.
Yeah.
You're hinting at that as well. You're hinting at a universe which is the idea. It's the one thing DC doesn't understand. Like, the closest they got technically, and I hate to give this movie any praise in this form, was Suicide Squad, because and maybe Justice League, but even then Justice League still didn't feel like it was that much of a universe. Thanks to what they decided the main film was going to be.
Yeah, it just felt like a rushed, half-assed rip-off of the Avengers.
Yeah, in so many different ways. So, yeah, that's what we want. That is how we would redo Man of Steel. Brainiac's your villain. Superman is being smart about fighting him. He's not just
Brute strength.
Yeah, he's sympathetic. He's gonna crack jokes. He's gonna have fun. Lois is gonna be awesome at it. She's actually gonna help in different ways. You're gonna also have John Jones pop up. You're gonna have more tendrils into different universe, or this whole universe. You're gonna expand yourself in your first movie. That's the thing that DC didn't understand. Like, they wanted to jumpstart their entire universe and make it like, oh, right, we're already at level 12, even though we just started. Look at us, we're so cool. When they didn't realize Marvel already set up how you could expand your universe, and they could have done it better than Marvel did. I'm fully admitting that, because they have all the ability to, they have none of the talent, which is the biggest problem. I'm not saying we're that talented, because easily our stories could probably be rewritten, certain things added, certain things a little subtracted, that would make them better. But I'll just say this much, and I'm sorry I'm taking the big reins here. At least our stories sound like something that would be fun. That's the one thing all these different movies are missing. That's the one thing any of the hardcore defenders want to completely ignore, is the fact that it's not that I want a movie that cracks 4,000 jokes a minute. It's not that I need a movie that does that. I need my comic book movie to have fun. We're talking about people who wear spandex and fight super dudes that cackle about the slightest plan, and that's good for them. It's gonna be goofy. I want goofy. So, what more do you want to say about this? Since I'm sorry, I've been hogging quite a bit and monologuing.
That's fine, you have most of the ideas, so.
So what more do you want to add?
I don't think there's anything really that I could like add or say. It's like, well, it's like, instead of doing this one thing that you suggested, I would, take that away, or I would do this one thing instead. There's nothing that I can think of that would improve upon our version.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, that's all we want to. That's the reason why I want to rewrite this DC universe. It's not because, oh, we don't like DC. I like DC. She loves DC. I will admit, I'm more of a Marvel first, but I still, that's the thing nobody gets. They're like, oh, well, people just want good Marvel movies and shitty DC movies. They want all DC movies to be bad. No, I want them to be good. I want to be able to go, like, whenever I heard about Wonder Woman here coming out, I was so worried, because I'm like, I just don't think they're going to be able to do her good. Then I saw the trailer, and I'm like, alright, this doesn't look bad at all. Yeah. This actually looks kind of decent. What the hell? It actually was pretty good. I want that for the DCEU. I want good DCEU movies. I don't want these constant 3s, 2s, 1s. I want for their worst movie to be like an Iron Man 3. It's a mixed bag. If that's their worst movie, awesome. That's what we want. So, hey, that's the end of our rantings. This has been like an hour or so.
Boy, yeah.
But hey, if y'all have more ideas, let us know. Send me an email, anything like that. But next time, we're going to get into the big one. But we've actually pretty much already rewritten this one, because we talked about it, and that's kind of what led into Man of Steel and these other films we're going to redo. And that is...
I was saying, add a few more that should have been sandwiched in there between Batman vs. Superman and Justice League.
Very much so. So, till then, everybody, we're going to see y'all with Superman vs. Batman. Maybe it'll be the Dawn of Justice. Maybe it'll be a Dawn of... So, until then, everybody, bye-bye.
Stay super, my friends.